Liverpool already have £150 million player amid Alexander Isak transfer saga. Liverpool have exactly 3 weeks to sign £150 R-rated Alexander Isak. Otherwise, they will have to wait until the January transfer window. Newcastle United striker Alexander Isak. Liverpool's Premier League title defense may begin later this week, but the club are still being linked with some huge transfers for Arne Slot's squad. Alexander Isak has dominated the headlines, and that looks set to continue until his situation is resolved. The 25-year-old is currently training alone at Newcastle United, having expressed a desire to depart. It has left them in a difficult position days before the league campaign starts, whilst long-term admirers Liverpool have already seen a bid worth £110 million rejected. According to The Telegraph, one of the conditions that would make the Reds' rivals consider selling Isak is if £150 million was on the line. Such a figure would smash both Liverpool's club record transfer and the British record too. Both were set only 2 months ago when Florian Wirtz completed his move to Anfield from Bayer Leverkusen. Diron, a £100 million sum was paid up front for the midfielder, which was the club record amount. Then add-ons agreed by the two clubs could see the deal surpass British record and reach £116 million. Wirtz, 22, has gone on to complete his first pre-season with his new club. He opened his account with a goal against Yokohama F. Marinos last month in Japan, then followed up by assisting fellow summer signing Hugo Ekitike in the Community Shield match versus Crystal Palace at Wembley Stadium. Florian Wirtz featured for Liverpool against Crystal Palace in the Community Shield clash. Even before these early contributions for his new club, Wirtz was receiving high ratings. One of the most poignant was from the CIE's Football Observatory in Switzerland, who have become a reference point in the scientific estimation of transfer values. By July 18th, they were estimating that the German international was already worth more than the transfer fee Liverpool paid in June. Their estimate ranges between €149 million, £129.1 million, and €173 million, £149.9 million. So at the higher end of that spectrum, Liverpool already own a player on the cusp of the £150 million mark. The actual figure spent on Wirtz has been part of a near £300 misspending spree so far this summer in Liverpool, benefiting from the recent sales of Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez, are in a strong position financially to be able to continue that spending on Isach or any other targets. The striker Newcastle United are waiting on, while Alexander Isak to Liverpool saga plays out. Newcastle United are interested in Nicholas Jackson, but may be waiting to see what happens with Alexander Isak before moving for the Chelsea striker. Jackson is a Newcastle United transfer target as Eddie Howe looks to bring more firepower into his squad ahead of the 2025-26 season. Indeed, the club wanted to sign a new forward even before Isak asked to leave Newcastle, with Callum Wilson having left upon the expiration of his contract. Chelsea want £80 million for Jackson, who scored 10 Premier League goals last season. The Senegal international is on the radar at St. James's Park, but it seems decision-makers at Newcastle are happy to bide their time over a potential move. Newcastle United not rushing into Nicholas Jackson move. The Guardian suggests that Newcastle are still waiting to see if Liverpool return with a new bid for Isak. Newcastle snubbed an offer for the Sweden international earlier this summer, but a fresh approach from the Anfield Giants is expected. Meanwhile, Pennsylvania Sport have also claimed that Newcastle are willing to hold off making a move for the former Villarreal forward until there is clarity over Isak's future on Tyneside. Fabrizio Romano confirms Nicholas Jackson has to leave Chelsea now. Transfer insider Fabrizio Romano has revealed that Jackson simply has to leave Stamford Bridge now, as the Blues look to make room for RB Leipzig attacker Xavi Simons. Christopher Nkunku for sure has to go, and Nicholas Jackson for sure has to go, he said. Jackson is expected to leave Chelsea, but it remains to be seen if Newcastle make a move. If Liverpool do not return for Isak, and that does feel unlikely at this stage, then the club may not need to sign a big-name central striker. Instead, they will only need to focus on replacing Wilson. It's a strange position to be in. Newcastle are still unsure whether they need to replace Isak or not, despite his obvious wishes to go. Alexander Isak to PSG transfer theory rubbished as Newcastle take hard Liverpool stance. Latest Liverpool transfer news as answers arrive following fears of PSG hijacking a deal for Alexander Isak. Liverpool are not the only club that have been linked with Alexander Isak. Liverpool will head into the Community Shield on Sunday, with one eye still on the continuing Alexander Isak transfer saga. But a fresh claim of another club swooping in to scupper a possible deal has already been debunked. The Reds will not follow up on their previous rejected £110 million offer unless Newcastle United relax their stance against selling the 25-year-old. The decision has resulted in a waiting game, with Isak yet to be reintegrated into Eddie Howe's squad. Last month, the Independent hinted European champions Paris Saint-Germain could be one to watch in the transfer tussle, speculating that the Swede has more than one potential suitor. On Friday afternoon, Sky Sports reporter Keith Downey picked up on Magpies fans using social media platform X to speculate the reason a private jet had taken off from Paris at 2:30 p.m. and landed on Tyneside at 3 p.m. The overriding theory among supporters was that a PSG contingent had flown in to conduct private business. Calling this the workings of silly season, Downey explained, that plane from Paris is not a delegation from PSG trying to sign Alexander Isak. It's the plane taking the Sunderland team to play Augsburg tomorrow. The jet departed from Newcastle yesterday evening from Memmingen, an hour's drive away from Augsburg, where Newcastle's rivals have played this Saturday afternoon. Despite the Newcastle fans' PSG theory being dismissed, a fresh report suggests that the Northeast club have put their foot down regarding their striker. According to the Telegraph, they will not do business with anyone and will block Isak leaving this summer at any price. The striker has been ordered to train alone following his expression of desire to leave, and reportedly cannot get his head around the fact that Newcastle will not give in and allow him to move on. The report comes despite comments from Toon boss Eddie Howe on Friday night. After Isak did not feature in Newcastle's 2-2 friendly draw with Espanyol. Asked if the club could force Isak to stay, the manager replied, "It's not that straightforward, otherwise we would have done that a long time ago. I don't think we're in a position to be able to do that currently." Liverpool handed free run at Marc Guéhi as Reds in pole position after major transfer decision. Latest Liverpool transfer rumors, as reports suggest, the Reds are in pole position to sign Marc Guéhi. Liverpool are reportedly in pole position for transfer target Marc Guéhi. Liverpool reportedly have a clear run at Crystal Palace star Marc Guéhi as Chelsea eye different targets despite a serious knee injury for Liverpool is out of contract at Selhurst Park next summer, with Oliver Glasner's side running out of opportunities to recoup fee for his services. Guéhi will be available as a free agent at the end of next season, and reports suggested the Londoners may enter the market to sign their former academy prospect, following news of Colwell's surgery after suffering an anterior cruciate ligament injury. According to the Telegraph, Liverpool are in pole position to sign the 25-year-old, with Chelsea targeting other options in the market. Arne Slot will get a closer look at their transfer target on Sunday when the Reds take on the FA Cup winners in the Community Shield at Wembley. While the saga surrounding Alexander Isak, Liverpool have a growing need to reinforce their central defensive options, with Joe Gomez and Ibrahima Konate, the only senior deputies to captain Virgil van Dijk. Gerald Kwanzaa completed a move to Bayer Leverkusen earlier in the window, leaving the possibility of Wataru Endo and Ryan Gravenberch filtering into the position, should they be required to. Slot faced questions on his defensive department during the pre-match press conference ahead of the trip to Wembley Stadium. He said, "They, Endo, Robertson, and Gravenberch, can definitely play there as well. And you forgot to mention Joe Gomez. Unfortunately, he has a minor injury at the moment, but he will be back with the team very soon. So we still have numerous options that can play there. But as always, what I always say, it's the same boring answer as with players that we might bring in or not. I'm really happy with the players we already have, and we have numerous players that can play in that position." In June, the Echo reported interest from the Premier League champions in the England international as they mulled over targeting the defender. However, it was noted that Liverpool would not rush into a deal for Guéhi and would be happy to bide their time over the centre-back. Liverpool, Isach's agreement, revealed as Romano confirms new update on Newcastle contract snub. Alexander Isak celebrates a goal during a match. According to reports, Alexander Isak had an agreement with Newcastle United, who have had a new offer rejected by the Liverpool target. The Isak saga continues to drag on, and a conclusion still seems far away after he made it clear to Newcastle that he wants to leave the club this summer. During the 2024-25 campaign, Isach cemented himself as one of the world's best strikers as he scored 27 goals in 42 appearances in all competitions for Newcastle. Isach helped Newcastle win the Carabao Cup and qualify for the Champions League, though he feels he is ready for the next step in his career as he eyes a move to Liverpool. The Reds have already paid around £80 million to sign Hugo Ekitike as part of their £260 million summer spend, though they remain interested in Isach as their dream target. Liverpool have already had a bid of around £120 million for Isach rejected by Newcastle, who reportedly value their prized asset at around £150 million. It has been suggested that the Reds are ready to return with a new offer once the Magpies land a replacement. On Friday evening, transfer expert Fabrizio Romano revealed a new update on Isak's situation, confirming that he has rejected Newcastle's attempts to tie him to a new contract beyond 2028. Isach, I'm told new thing to say tonight, that he said in a very clear way to Newcastle again this week that he is not willing to sign a new contract at the club, Romano said on his YouTube channel. So, Newcastle tried again earlier this week to offer him a new contract, but the player at the moment, guys, we never know in football. Maybe this could change in the next days or weeks, and I will be here to tell you because our job is to tell you what's going on, not to predict the future. But in this moment, Alexander Isak has no intention to sign a new contract at Newcastle. Alexander Isak wants to go to Liverpool, and so this story remains absolutely on. It's not over. Follow that one because the story again is really on. Before the summer, the Newcastle News was renowned for being a parody account on X, but they have recently emerged as a semi-credible outlet, as they have amassed 580k followers, a team of 5 respected reporters, and were recently credited by The Athletic's David Ornstein after beating him to a story. With that, Newcastle claimed on Friday evening that Isak's team has informed them that he reached a gentleman's agreement with Newcastle in January. They said on X, "Wow, close associate of Alexander Isach's contacted us. We seen your story that Adam Wharton has gentleman agreement with at CPFC to leave it next summer. Alexander Isach had the same agreement in January with at UFC to leave this summer. We are furious how we've been treated." Newcastle confirmed Alexander Isak's decision amid Liverpool transfer saga. Latest Liverpool transfer news as Newcastle United make a major call regarding striker Alexander Isak. Alexander Isak is not playing for Newcastle on Friday night, amid links with a move to Liverpool. Newcastle United have confirmed Alexander Isak is not playing in their latest preseason friendly on Friday night. The striker is yet to feature this summer, amid an ongoing transfer saga of which Liverpool are at the center. The Reds were rejected 1 week ago when they presented a £110 million offer to their rivals, and as things stand, they have not lined up a renewed effort. This only came after the 25-year-old had expressed desire to leave Newcastle and had not traveled with Eddie Howe's squad for a tour of Asia, which was put down to a thigh injury. After the Magpies returned to England, it has been confirmed Isach has been made to train separately to his teammates, and now he has not been named in the squad that faces Spanish side Espanyol in front of supporters at St. James's Park. Howe has named a mixed starting English that includes captain Bruno Guimaraes, England defender Dan Burn, and debutant goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale among some youngsters. Up front is 22-year-old William Osula, another Swedish striker, but there is no place for Isach even on the bench. Liverpool's rivals still have another friendly tomorrow against Atletico Madrid, again at St. James's Park. It had been clarified that Howe would not be holding a press conference before either that or tonight's match, but will be taking questions after each. So there are answers inevitably to come about Isach. Prior to Isach being made to train alone, his manager had warned, "You have to earn the right to train with us. We are Newcastle United. The player has a responsibility here to be part of a team and part of a squad. You have to act in the right way." So that is also at play here. "We will make sure that any player does that to earn the right to train with the group. No player can expect to act poorly and train with the group as normal. At the moment, Newcastle are in no position to sell even if they wanted to, the Echo's sister site Chronicle Live explained earlier, because St. James's Park Chiefs have still not secured all of the attacking signings they desire this summer. To factor into the situation is their wish not to see Isach line up for the Reds when the two teams meet in the Premier League on Monday, August 25th. Arne Slot refused to elaborate on Isach's situation when asked at his pre-Community Shield press conference, simply replying, "As you know, for me and I think every manager works like this, you never talk about players that are not yours."